Let's begin.
Pilot seat during this operation, sort of monitoring the motion of the vehicle, making sure that it was steady and that there were very few vibrations of any sort. Here's a picture of the INSAT actually being deployed from the spacecraft. You can see that the deploy went very smoothly. At the moment of deploy,
Did you see it in the background? There was a guy in the background, man. I'm not kidding you. You can't deny that that's someone in the background. There's a guy moving in the background. Here, watch it again. Watch it closely. I looked up, or I tried to look up the size of this rocket. I found this picture. You can see it's massive. So if that rocket is in space and if there's a guy in the background in that footage, that means that there are like giants, but like insane big giants floating around in space looking at NASA. That's probably why they don't dare to go back to the moon and why they hide so much stuff. Space is full of giants. Well, NASA, this video was a lot of fun to watch. There's a lot of weird things in this. Let's keep watching a bit more of this.
About a minute, 20 seconds after deployment, you can see some of the jets on the spacecraft.
Here you can see how they switch on the light of the Earth.
Associated with the spacecraft.
It's kind of funny, isn't it?
That can't be a real video. It's completely fabricated, correct?
This device was banned by the Rockefellers in the 1800s. And this is a copper Tesla coil. And they would actually use this to ground themselves in the 1800s because we are electrical beings. And copper is one of the greatest conductors. So when you place it into the ground and hold it, the Earth's electric charge will be transferred to your electric body, instantaneously healing that individual. And this is another reason why everybody in the 1800s had Tesla antennas and even copper canes, which they would press into the ground and they would then ground their bodies to the earth. But also this device exposed the gardening industry because in the 1800s they would use copper antennas in their gardening known as electroculture. And because we know the earth is electrically charged and copper is a conductor of electricity, it would then bring that electricity to the area of the plant, drastically increasing the size and yield of the plant, which is exactly why the Rockefellers banned it, because farmers were benefiting, and it then nearly put the trillion-dollar fertilizer industry out of business.
A copper cane sounds badass.
Pay very close attention to this video of Polaris being looked at with a negative filter. Why does it look so weird? Almost like the all-seeing eye. You know, the one that we see on the back of the dollar bill. Not only that, but did you know that every single star and every single planetary body and everything that we can observe in the universe all appears to rotate around Polaris? Now, how is this possible if the Earth is spinning around the sun at ridiculous speeds and then the solar system is whipping around the galaxy at like 500,000 miles per hour, and then the galaxy is moving through space at millions of miles per hour? If all of that was happening at once, and we were moving in like 5 different directions at incomprehensible speeds, then let's really think about it here. We would never actually see the same stars again. But we always see the same exact stars. Every single night. Every single year. Millennia after millennia. The Egyptians were studying the exact same set of stars. That's why the pyramids still align with the Belt of Orion. I'm not saying the stars aren't real, but they cannot be trillions of miles away. I made this video for entertainment purposes only.
They really do rely on people's ignorance and apathy to it all.
And both Apple and Android devices, unfortunately, are not especially good in protecting your privacy. Think right now. You got a smartphone, right? You might be listening to this on a train somewhere in traffic right now. Or you, Joe, right now. You got a phone somewhere in the room, right? The phone is turned off, or at least the screen is turned off. It's sitting there. It's powered on. And if somebody sends you a message, the screen blinks to life. How does that happen? Right? How is it that if someone from any corner of the earth dials a number, your phone rings and nobody else's rings? How is it that you can dial anybody else's number and only their phone rings, right? Every smartphone, every phone at all, is constantly connected to the nearest cellular tower. Every phone, even when the screen is off, you think it's doing nothing. You can't see it because radio frequency emissions are invisible. It's screaming in the air, saying, here I am, here I am. They can see everything about you. They can see everything about what your device is doing, and they can do whatever they want with your device. You, on the other hand, owned the device. Well, rather, you paid for the device. But increasingly, these corporations own it. Increasingly, these governments own it. And increasingly, we are living in a world where we do all the work, right? We pay all the taxes. We pay all the costs. But we own less and less. And nobody understands this better than the youngest generation.
Well, it seems like our data became a commodity before we understood what it was. It became this thing that's insanely valuable to Google and Facebook and all these social media platforms. Before we understood what we were giving up, they were making billions of dollars. And then once that money is being earned and once everyone's accustomed to this situation, it's very difficult to pull the reins back. It's very difficult to turn that horse around.
Precisely, because the money then becomes power.
Right.
The information then becomes influence.
Our phones are kind of like our leashes to our masters in a way. Honestly, that's some of my favorite use of generative AI is seeing these interpretations.
Yeah, like, is this the Truman Show? The Truman Show. I always wonder because it's so close to the Air Force Base. You know, whenever the eclipse happened, I told you years ago.
It was moving too. I'm not sure what that was.
Okay, you guys, so I saw some people talking about how in Revelations, the terms have changed when it's talking about the mark of the beast. So I wanted to check out in my old 1857 Bible what it says. So if we go here to Revelations, it's 13:16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand. Wait, okay, this is the part. To receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell save he, that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay, so it's changed. In our newer Bibles, it says mark on their right hand or on their foreheads. I wonder when this changed. If any of you know, let me know. And if you know any other changes like this, can you let me know in the comments so I can look them up in this Bible?
Yeah, the difference between in and on is pretty significant. This is a big compilation of them. It doesn't ever seem to end. Holy cow. Is honestly so brilliant to incorporate hidden symbolism and communication of sorts in such an everyday gesture. Like anybody, even random people have taken images like that. Just, what it seems like if you take hundreds of photos like some of these celebrities and athletes do, you would eventually just get bored and try new, like you're encouraged to go through a plethora of poses. And I just think that happening to come across one of these is bound to happen at the amount of photos that these people in the public eye take. So I'm not knocking the validity of this. I'm just saying it's so brilliantly wrapped up in something so common to see, I guess.
Hello, folks. Val Venus back again with another edition of Palm Pistol Ricky. Take a look right here. Between the baby finger and the middle finger, that black anomaly in there, I believe that to be the infrared white dot aiming device that is part of this U-shaped high-tech palm pistol. And then, of course, between the middle finger and the ring finger, we have the barrel of the palm pistol itself. Notice that after Palm Pistol Ricky squeezes off around and relaxes his fist, the components of this high-tech palm pistol become visible. You can see the separation between those three fingers. There's clearly two items there. One is definitely an aiming device and the other is the barrel of the palm pistol. This is what it is, guys. I'm just pointing out to you what I'm looking at close up here. Now, to further this, I want to show you what the device may look like. I think this is the device Palm Pistol Ricky used, a high-tech palm pistol. Take a look at Palm Pistol Ricky waving it around earlier in the event. As Palm Pistol Ricky was waving this weapon around, I believe he was activating the infrared white dot aiming device because folks were recording Charlie Kirk, noticed on their phone screens a white dot was all over Charlie Kirk. It was on his arm, it was on his chin. Folks, it's clear that Palm Pistol Ricky was testing the white dot infrared aiming device, making sure it was functional. Let's look at Frank Turek's phone. Milliseconds before he was shot, you see a white dot on Frank Turek's phone. That phone picked up the infrared white dot aiming device because the next frame is two white dots. One white dot is the infrared white dot aiming device, and the other white dot is the infrared coming from the bang.
Come back tomorrow and I'll give you the goodies. Shit, that was a terrible throw.